How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Everyone's having a lovely day. Bengals Patriots starting 1 o'clock tomorrow. Key names on the injury report now for the Cincinnati Bengals. We're seeing Mims, as we expected, not going to play. Kris Jenkins not going to play. Questions as far as the depth is concerned on that defensive front now. Bigger questions in the skill position area of the Cincinnati Bengals. We're talking wide receiver T. Higgins. Hamstring shows up late in the week on the injury report. Doubtful to play. Ja'Marr Chase, as we know, contract situation. He just started practicing this week, and it's unpredictable as unpredictable can get because it looks like the ball's in Ja'Marr's court. It is in his court. It's just choice if he wants to play or he doesn't want to play. He's been practicing. He's ramped it up later in the week where he could play if he wanted to. How big of a role we have, we don't know, but there's a very good chance the Bengals start week 1 with neither one of these guys. Do I think that happens? Ultimately, I don't think so. I think it's questionable. I say if Chase doesn't play, I feel like they want to push T. Higgins, but it just feels like there's no chance they're going to push T. Higgins against the Patriots. You want to win every game you possibly can, but you need him as healthy. You need your team to be as healthy as possible going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, to say Higgins wait another week could happen here. Ja'Marr Chase, on the other hand, same story. He could say, let me wait a week. Let me push, the pedal a little bit here, prove a point. And say, all right, now we're going to see how anxious the Bengals are to get this guy locked up to a long-term deal for the foreseeable future, going into a very key matchup the following week. That being said, though, I do think Ja'Marr plays because I don't think he's going to turn down. The Bengals have the ultimate trump card here where they can just start playing the fines game. $1.8 million that number's up to, by the way, technically, if the Bengals wanted to, because it reported the training camp numbers or practices now, it's probably a little bit lower, but some hefty fines if he doesn't participate in this football game by choice. And ultimately, what Ja'Marr wants is the money. And, every time you don't play, it's taking a pretty big hit on that paycheck. You wanted the highest paid in the league by a penny or $500K. Well, all of a sudden, it's not $500K anymore. You're not getting that pay coming into this season. Anyway, I think he plays, but it does open up the opportunity in a big way. If he doesn't play, if T. Higgins doesn't play, you're going to see Yosevich, we're going to see Burton, we're going to see Irwin, we're going to see what are some of these young guys capable of. It's scary. The scariest thought there is, as a Bengals fan right now, obviously, is, hey, what if you let Ja'Marr walk? What if you let T. Higgins walk? Looking like T. Higgins is going to have to walk. When we look at the T. Higgins situation, we want him here. We want T. Higgins here. It just feels like the value is so important if he can stay healthy. I feel like he's a much cheaper receiver. He's the bigger bodied guy. He's the bigger touchdown threat because of that size. Obviously, maybe not the deep threat, the bigger touchdown threat, the bigger contested catch threat. There's a lot of good things you like about T. Higgins as an outside receiver to stay on this football team. And the Bengals are proven, Joe Burrow has proven, they can move the football up and down the football field with just T. Higgins. Remember, he was here before Chase was. Burrow breaking records as a quarterback for throwing over 300 yards in consecutive games. Burrow not having a problem at all with no offensive line. And T. Higgins and company out wide. That being said, the guy's got to stay healthy. He's now seen 5 of the last 6 seasons. He's been in an injury report for a hamstring injury dating back to Clemson. For me, that's concerning because it's a couple of things. Like, is this thing ever going to go away? I don't know. I do know the guy needs to hire a fire over his Bengals. He's got to do something about the training regimen because a lot of hamstring injuries. Again, not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend. And this is where the thing is, it keeps reoccurring. You can't guarantee is it more susceptible to being re-aggravated when it's happened again 5 of the last 6 seasons. I don't know. I do know, you can stretch more, you can stay hydrated. There's a lot of things you can do to really stretch out your muscles and prevent them from being strained, especially when it is something like a hamstring. Questions, regarding that situation because them hamstring injuries, the later you get into your career, they can go 6 weeks and go 8 weeks. They can be a serious problem. And if they're already a problem at this age, you wonder if it's a good idea for the Bengals to keep him because of the injury concern. You do want stability. You want guys that are going to be on the field. Love T. Higgins want to be here, but that's a concern. Anyway, there is a lot of worry in Cincinnati about letting him go and Ja'Marr Chase go. With Higgins getting injured once again, it once again pushes that leverage in Chase's favor more, saying, well, you got to sign me. Because you can't trust T. Higgins to stay healthy, as unfortunate as that is to say. But if you walk into this football game, Burrow, I believe it was reported, has only seen 25 snaps this year, or he's only dropped back 25 times, where Higgins and Chase were both not on the football field at once due to injuries, I would assume. And Obviously, question marks, lots of them, because he's always had one of those two weapons out there. But if you believe Joe Burrow is a top 2 quarterback, you have to also believe the Bengals can draft receivers and say Yosavash and Burton can be those guys to step up. It is scary, though, to say, all right, let's let Chase walk, let's let Higgins walk, and see what happens. So this, as scary as it is that they both might not play, it is an opportunity for these young guys, for Joe Burrow to go out there and tear a defense apart. I don't care who they're playing. If you see the connection, you see the chemistry there, it makes you feel a lot better about your situation moving forward. Not only that, it gives, again, these youngsters a chance to really prove themselves. Yosavash could go out there, tear it up, really take off, earn himself a role in this lineup. But, you know, Burton, same story. Burton could do it as well. And that's the best thing that could possibly happen as a Bengals fan, is you kind of get a trial run here. Again, you want to win every game you can, but you get a little trial run and things fall to pieces without Higgins and Chase out there in the field. You say, you know what? Yeah, it's pretty important to keep one of these guys. But if things go well, again, you could say, hey, it's the Patriots and then Patriots defense, but at least you could say, okay, we do have a chance to move the football up and down the field. Personally, I'm excited. I'm really excited about it just because, again, I believe Joe Burrow. I think in the situation, in the long run, we're going to look back at it. Right now, you're getting these championships out of Mahomes. I think you're going to look back and say Joe Burrow is a better quarterback of the two. Ultimately, you're going to look at the championships. But when Joe Burrow starts to get the protection he's getting, he starts to get the defense the Chiefs get. You put him in that situation, you're going to win him Super Bowls too. And I think ultimately he's going to be the one person that takes him down. So I think ultimately what has to happen is Joe Burrow loses a weapon or two. You can keep one. We've seen teams win. We've historically seen teams don't win Super Bowls paying a wide receiver a lot of money. It just doesn't happen. That being said, though, we have seen teams like the Packers keep Devontae Adams around Aaron Rodgers. Manning, for the most part, always had a web, but he's even moved the football up and down the field. I remember the Austin Collie, Pierre Garçon years. And it just feels like that's Joe Burrow in a nutshell, where you can put less around him. You still got to have talent, but you can put less around him. You got to bring up somebody and make him look great. You know, Mahomes did at once. End of the day, he has had Travis Kelce. Not paying him like wide receiver money, but he's always had Travis Kelce. You've always had that one kind of cog for teams. You know, Tom Brady or Rob Gronkowski, for example. Always kind of had those cogs, even if it's not the wide receiver position, it's a tight end position. So it is key to have a playmaker like that, but you also have to trust in your elite quarterback to move forward. So I love this. I love that there's an opportunity here. And, you know, we have to be mindful, too, what's going to be difficult here is Bengals historically slow starters under Zach Taylor. So how things kind of come together here with a fresh core run, Burrow, it'll be interesting. But for certain, it's, you know, you're not going to figure out what these guys are made of in a preseason. Sure, they might tear teams apart, but it's the preseason. They got to get real action. And it'd be much better if the Bengals won a game or two without Hayes and Higgins this year and saying, hey, look, what do we have here? Than saying, all right, let's let them both walk, or let's keep one, let's keep the other. And you just started from scratch next season. So it's a little bit of a trial run to see what these Bengals are, you know, capable of. We got to believe in these young guys, though. Bengals know how to draft the receiver position. Looks like there's some talent here. Excited to see what they can do. Obviously, retain the talent you can. We'll see what happens. Love y'all's thoughts. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.